Hello and welcome to this edition of Minstrels on the Block. I'm your host, Brian Mallard, and this week's guest is Blue Harvest, Dave.
Hey, Brian. Good to see you, man. Thank you for having us.
Good to meet you today, Brian.
I'd like to introduce Dave Patillo and Fred Weekly. They are two members of Blue Harvest. We'll be bringing you some other ones up here in the next couple of segments. So, tell me about yourself, guys. Fred, where were you born?
I'm born in Waterloo, Iowa. Migrated here as a result of joining the Army and spending a quarter of a century there, but been playing banjo a long time. Ran into Dave about 10 years ago, and we've been playing ever since.
Well, considering what I just heard with y'all just warming up a little bit,
yeah.
You play the banjo very, very well.
Well, thank you, Brian.
So, Dave, where were you born?
I was born in Cobb Hospital right here in Phoenix City, Alabama, years ago. 3 or 4 now. So.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Try not to give away.
I understand they're taking down Cobb Hospital now, but yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So, Fred, what'd your parents do?
My dad was in the railroad, but we also farmed up in Iowa. Pigs, cows, chickens, dairy business, as well as him working a full-time job. So, cool. But Iowa's a good place to be from. It's awful cold up there, kind of miserable the winter months, and it's beautiful down south.
I'm a summer child. Give me 80 degrees.
Yes.
Now, were your parents musical?
No, not really. No.
So, what got you? What made you decide you?
I really don't. I can't tell you what really happened, but I can tell you I tried to play a guitar and could not do it, and a few years later picked up a banjo and enjoyed it so much I've just stuck with it.
Wow.
And I think that's the key, is sticking with it. Yeah.
Sticking with it, yes. That definitely helps.
Yes.
Like 90%.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what about you?
My father played guitar just a little bit, but as we talked yesterday, I grew up in the country, and those few years ago we had very limited TV, so guitar was a good hobby, and it kind of stuck. And even today, as I mentioned yesterday, we get extra TV channels in the winter months when the leaves come off the trees. So.
Yeah.
We live in the woods. So my son's now starting to pick up a guitar because it's that or video game.
Well, yeah. Guitar.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
As mentioned in previous episodes, it's for the chicks.
That's right. Absolutely.
So now, your dad used to pick guitar a little bit, and you picked it up. What made you decide that you wanted to do that?
Well, again, it was living in the country. There's not a lot to do, especially when the sun goes down. If you're not hunting in the woods or fishing or something like that, or we had horses and cows and plenty of work to do. But it was something to entertain myself in the evening, so that's how I picked it up.
We'll pick up with that in a second again. Fred, as you picked up the banjo and you decided you liked it, you stuck with it, tell me a little bit about your learning process on it.
I'm self-taught. Bought the Earl Scruggs book. God bless Earl Scruggs, passed away last week. And but I bought the Earl Scruggs book. I learned from that book the basic rudiments of playing a banjo. Started playing with some other guys. Got into a small band. Played a few local things, which create a challenge for you. If you're going to get out and play in front of an audience, you really got to work at it a little more than a home entertainment drill. And so that's how it kind of grew and just kept growing. And the more I played, the more folks I met, the more I would learn. And mine is a decades process of self-teaching. Playing what I like to play, making the banjo fit the genre that we're trying to play in. So
now,
and you'll notice at Blue Harvest, if you listen to very much of what we do, we're probably less than 50% bluegrass. We're all acoustic instruments, but we cross all genres of music: jazz, big band sounds, movie themes, do all kinds of music.
Cool. Yeah. Blue Harvest does rock on, yes.
We like to say our roots are in bluegrass, but we enjoy climbing the tree. So,
excellent.
Willie, who you'll meet in a little bit, he actually fell out of the tree.
a couple times.
We ended up just building him a tire swing. So.
Awesome. So, what kind of music did you grow up listening to? Was there a music that influenced what you do now?
I did listen to a lot of the old Grand Ole Opry theme, and of course in those days, in the 50s and early 60s, Grand Ole Opry was a combination, a lot of country music and bluegrass music. So My parents were big with Johnny Cash and the 50s crowd of country singers and artists, and always listened to the Grand Ole Opry whenever there was bluegrass playing.
Yeah.
My dad's favorite genre was bluegrass music.
Excellent.
But, yeah.
So, probably the most important question in this show, Elvis or the Beatles?
For me, the Beatles. More progressive.
Now, Dave, there's not a lot to entertain you in the country. And during the summertime when there's leaves on the trees and you're not getting a lot of television stations, you're playing guitar. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your progression with...
Well, growing up alone, I always enjoyed bluegrass music. My dad still enjoys it, but it's difficult to play bluegrass alone. It's almost impossible, I think. So I experimented with James Taylor, Dan Fogelberg, the stuff you can play and sing by yourself, that kind of. And I progressed through a southern rock band. I used to play in a band here from Phoenix City called the South Railroad Street Band many years ago.
Cool.
And I got tired of the bar scene. And put my guitar up for years, and a mutual friend introduced me to Willie again, who you'll meet in a few minutes, and got me back into bluegrass, and it's in my blood now. I can't get it out. So.
Excellent. Love it. So what kind of music did you have a specific type of genre of music that drove you to where you are today and listening as you were growing up?
Well, yeah, the old standards, Lester and Earl, Bill Monroe, that kind of stuff that my dad always listened to. I went to a bluegrass festival, I think it was 1978, and Lester Flatt and Earl had broken up then, but Lester played. But a band came on just afterwards called the Newgrass Revival, and I was hooked at that point. Nice. And we actually do a few of their tunes.
Excellent.
Yeah. So.
Elvis or the Beatles?
Beatles.
for the record,
we actually do a couple of Beatles songs.
Oh,
we don't do any Elvis songs. So.
For the record, and not to diss the king, there's no wrong answer to that. Just so you know out there.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about the formation of your band.
Well, I mentioned earlier when I met Willie. It was 4 or 5 years later. We ran into Fred at a mutual friend's house, and like Fred said, we've pretty much been together ever since. At one time, Willie's son Heath played bass with us when we first started out and became Blue Harvest, and have gone through a couple of bass players since. And Dan Kirk, you'll meet later on, is our latest addition, and he joined us last May or June, so almost a year now he's been playing with us. So.
And y'all, where can people find you playing? We'll get to a promotional part in a little bit, but
we mainly do. I mentioned we got out of the bar scene years ago, and we enjoy playing parties. We play out at Fort Benning for functions and things like that. We play weddings and play lots of benefit stuff too. Cool. We really enjoy it. Mainly we play in Willie's living room every Tuesday night. That's our favorite actually.
Tickets on sale now. Coming up, some upcoming projects we got going on. Another member of the band. We'll be right back. Check out this song, On the Way Out.
This is a Blind Fate song on their only album they did back with in 1969, I think it was, with Eric Clapton. It's a song called Can't Find My Way Home, and I understand it was Bill Monroe's favorite song on that album.
That's right, David.
Wasn't exactly bluegrass then, but we're trying to make it a bluegrass song now. Y'all ready, boys?
Yeah. Yep.
Come down off your throne, leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting all these years. Somebody holds the key. But I'm near the end, and I just ain't got the time. Now I'm wasted, and I can't find my way home. Come down on your own, leave your money at home. Somebody must change. 'Cause you are the reason I've been waiting all these years. Somebody holds the key. But I'm near the end, and I just ain't got the time. And I'm wasted, and I can't find my way home. I can't find my way home. No, I can't find my way home. No, I can't find my way home. I can't find my way home. No, I can't find my way home. No, I can't find my way home.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Minstrels on the Block, where we bring you the finest singer-songwriters in the Valley area. And Fred, you've changed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Introducing Willie Williamson. So Willie,
Nice to meet you, Brian.
Good to have you on the show. Tell me, going back a little bit, tell me a little bit about where were you born?
I was born out in Columbus, Georgia, 1950.
Cool. What did your parents do?
My daddy was in the Army, retired in 61 here, but he spent his most of his life in the military.
Was he musical?
Nope, not at all.
So what got you into it?
I guess we moved here in 61, and I met it with some guy that had a Stella guitar, so for Christmas I got a Silvertone, and that started it, back in 1961.
Cool.
I learned a couple of chords and, stayed there for years and years and years, and then after a while I finally met it with some guys that could play, and it started happening then.
3 chords and a lot of volume. You can do it for years.
Yeah.
Now, you got started. What made you keep with it? And what made you decide this was?
I always liked the sound of a guitar. Back then I was playing guitar, and I was listening to a lot of country music. And then I got hooked on rock and roll. And the new sound. And then I went that way for a while, but never got playing in the band with that much. And just kind of after several years, just kind of forgot about playing.
Mm-hmm.
And just left it.
So what made you pick it back up?
Just the love of music, the sound of the guitar, people singing songs and everything. Just once it gets you, you're hooked.
Yeah. If you're a musician, you can never be away from it for long.
That's right. It's like a bad woman.
Yeah. Keep showing back up. So, Dave, tell me a little bit about what y'all have going on now.
We have a little festival we do at our farm out in Fort Mitchell, Alabama. It's called Hog Bottom. That was the name of our farm. It was built on an old hog pen. We have a nice lake there now.
That explains that name.
Sister-in-law coined that name. I was on the board of directors for a local charity called House of Heroes. We help our local veterans that are down on their luck, need repairs to their houses and that kind of stuff. It's also policemen and firemen that have retired that need a little assistance. The charity provides volunteers to go out and make repairs to the houses, and we have to raise funds for the materials. Before we would, solicit corporations and companies around and just ask for money, and you know, I always like the idea of the Girl Scouts. You know, at least when you give the Girl Scouts money, you get cookies. If you go to church, give money, hopefully you get salvation or something. And I came up with the idea of having Hog Bottom, where we would get the musicians to just volunteer their time to come out and play. We have sponsors that donate the meat and that kind of stuff that we cook. We have great barbecue, by the way. And so when you walk through the gate or drive through the gate, everything you see at Hog Bottom has been donated, and it's just people's time and talents that through which we're able to give back to our community and our veterans. So it's
very cool,
wonderful opportunity if you've never been.
Now, was it slow getting off the ground? From when you started? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yes, it was purposely slow. The first time it was basically a party. It was my wife's birthday, and I had two friends, Genevieve and Diane, and it was a special birthday. I won't say which ones, I'll give away their age, but I came up with the idea, and I said, well, I'll get some T-shirts maybe, and I donated the T-shirts and put a jar out and just asked folks to give a little money, you know, if they were willing. And of course, we had the barbecue. And we had maybe 75, 80 people that first year, this 6 years ago. And I had to add the facilities at the farm. We have grown slowly. Like I said, it's been purposely slow. But last year we had around 750 people out. We had 16 bands, 372 pounds of Boston butts that was almost completely devoured. And again, when you come through the gate, everything you see and do has been donated. And we have Rocky's bar comes out, and they have some snacks and stuff like that, and they just put a jar out. They donate all the food and whatever comes in the jar. We get it at the end of the day. I have friends, Ken and Rhea Harrison make great boiled peanuts, and he makes this huge pot of peanuts, and whatever you want to donate for peanuts through the day, at the end of the day, they just donate money to the charity. So,
where is this place? Now, I've never been there, but even if I had, I'd still be asking this question for all those who have not been there. Where is it?
It's in Fort Mitchell, Alabama, just south, actually. If you're familiar with the Phoenix City area, you go out to 431, like you're going to Seal, turn left on 165. It's exactly 12 miles. You turn left again on the County Road 38, and it's about a quarter of a mile on the right. You'll see the signs then, and it's actually Saturday the 21st, so it's coming up very, very soon.
Now, when you're putting this thing together, how do you get the talent in? Do you have like?
We have been actually blessed. The first year it was just our band Blue Hearts that played. The second year word got out, and I had a few friends that called and said, "Hey, you know, we'd like to help out." You know, Rick Edwards was one of the first that volunteered. Mark Stein, who actually served on the board with me with the House of Heroes, found out about it, and he said, "Hey, Davey, I've got a band. I'd like to come out." I sat next to him on the board, and I had no idea he was in a band. So Cat Red came out and played, and it's unfortunate, but I've actually had to turn people away. I always invite the bands that came the previous year first if they'd like to come, and I was able to add a couple more. We're starting a little bit earlier this year. We usually stop around 9 or 9:30 because it's outdoors and I have neighbors. So most of the neighbors are there actually, but you know, but I don't want to make anyone mad. But you know, even after the stages are unplugged, there's picking everywhere. It's 30-acre farm and parking lot picking of any type you can imagine. Just no basses, no drums. So. And it goes on for hours and hours and well into the night. Willie's one of the hardcores, 2 or 3 o'clock.
Good parking lot pick.
Not unusual. Not unusual at all.
A man who really cannot put it down.
Right.
So the format is no drums?
Oh, no, during the day, yeah.
Oh,
we actually have, I'm finishing up, we're pouring concrete. We've just poured concrete. And we'll have drums on both stages. The format this year is a little bit different with... Before at one stage I could set up drums, the other was no drums, it was acoustic acts. So I was having to swap out the electric acts with acoustic acts through the day. With the expanded stages, now we're going to start with old time bluegrass early in the morning. Wildwood Bluegrass is going to kick us off about 11 o'clock. And it'll progress through some newer bluegrass, some of the stuff we do, and even newer than that. We've got some folk acts, country acts through the day. And then by the end of the night, my good friend Don White, who also volunteered many, many years ago, he played in the band with us with South Railroad Street Band way back when. I cornered him up, and he's volunteered his band each year, so they're going to finish us up this year. We had to cut it short last year. We ran a little bit long, and I promised Don we'd make it up for him, and he's promised us a great 50-minute act at the end of the day.
Excellent.
So we're looking forward to that.
Do you have rock acts there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Talk to you after the show. So now, where do you see Hog Bottom going? What do you hope for the future of Hog Bottom?
We're getting to the limit of what we can really hold. It was a 30-acre farm, but the parking is limited to the pasture area. The stages are near the lake, a nice shaded, wooded area, which is really nice. But and what we've done so far is we've just asked for a $10 donation.
Right.
What we may have to do to keep the money coming in, but limit the number of people, we may have to go up. What I'm thinking about, we're not going to do it this year, but maybe next year, if you bring one item of Hog Bottom action wear, hat, T-shirt, whatever, we'll let you in for $10. If you don't have anything, it's going to be $15, but we'll sell you one at the gate. So we'll drop it down to 10. So,
excellent.
Oh, excuse me, you can donate for one at the gate. We don't sell anything. So.
Now, I'm assuming that Blue Harvest is also playing there this year?
Oh, yeah. We're early in the day. It's a lot of work putting this show on. I'm usually dragging by the end of the day, so we always go on early. Actually, Willie and Fred, you met earlier, played another band called Crosswired, and they play a little later in the day, and you got to keep Willie's rested up so he can play all night.
Well, let's let Willie, not rest, because you're about to watch him play some music. We'll be right back right after this.
Mill turns around, it's on free will. Hand in the hopper, the other in the sack. Lady step forward, gents fall back. Then said I with his head all white, said a lonesome day and a lonesome night. Thought he heard a pretty girl say, court all night, sleep the next day. Then said a raven as she flew, if I was young I'd have me too. 1 foot fetch and 1 foot stew, I'd have a string for my bo-bo-bo. Well, my old man's in Kalamazoo, he don't give a no, yes I do. Turn to the left and then to the right, this old mill grinds day and night. Well, same old man sitting at the mill. Mill turns around, it's on free will. Hand in the hop and the other in the sack. Lady step forward, gents fall back.